Hello everyone, this is Objective 2, Part 5 of your ALEKS homework. It's also known as Section 3.5. But anyways, we're going to talk about equations of lines. And by the way, this is the first portion of the video, because there will probably be 2 videos for this. Objective number 1. Using the slope-intercept form to graph an equation. If you remember right, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We've already seen this. I've already taught you how to graph using it, but this is going to be a quick review. So slope-intercept form of a line is in y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So when you graph using slope-intercept form, just to remind us, we're going to first graph b, or the y-intercept, and b in this case equals -2, and I taught you to write this up as 0, -2. So we go to the y-axis and we put the dot 0, -2. That's our point. The second thing we're going to do is use the slope, which is 3/5, to graph the second point. So slope is always rise over run. So in this case we have a +3, so I'm going to go up 3 units, and then I'm going to go to the right 5 because both values are positive. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, I put a little X there, and now I'm going to go the right 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So basically, once again, I went up 3 and then over to the right 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and erase those marks because I don't want us to get confused. And I'm going to connect the dots that I just found, and voila, you got your line. Okay, Objective 2 is using the slope-intercept form to write an equation. Alright, so once again, remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. When you have the words write an equation of a line, you usually do not use this form. It's very rare. But if you're given the right information, you can use this form to write an equation. So the type of information that you'll have to know to use this is you're going to have to be given m and you're going to have to be given b. So let's see this in action. Find an equation of a line with slope -1/3 and y-intercept 0, -5. So I'm looking through there, and before I do anything, I'm going to write what I have. So what is given is m equals -1/3, and also the y-intercept, which is also known as b, equals -5. Since I'm given these 2 things, now I can use y equals mx plus b. At this point, I'm just going to plug and chug, or substitute in the values that I have into the equation. So m is -1/3. I'm going to leave the x there. And then since b is -5, I'm just going to subtract 5 from that. And that's how you write an equation of a line given the slope and the y-intercept. Like I said, that doesn't really happen very often. And more times than not, and I'm talking about 95% of the time, you will have to write an equation using the slope, or the point-slope form. So point-slope form is what we're going to use, and it's located on the next slide. Point-slope form of the equation of a line is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. I'm going to highlight what you'll fill in when you use this form. You're going to plug in y1 and x1 and m only. The y and the x that do not have subscripts, they're going to be left alone. Okay? So to use point-slope form, you have to have a point and the slope. You can also use this form when you have 2 points. If you have 2 points, though, you have to do more work. Because the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find the slope, which, by the way, that formula was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x sub 1, the picnic formula. And then you will use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, so if you have 2 points, you're going to do more work. So let's see what this looks like. Find an equation of a line with slope -2 that passes through -11, -12. Then write the equation in slope-intercept form and in standard form. Okay, this part or process has about 3 different steps. For starters, I want you to get used to, if it says find the equation of a line, little bells should be going off in your head to use y minus y1. Whoops, sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. Little technology issues. Let me fix this too. So let me rewrite that. Y minus y1, did it again, equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, so that's, once again, a little bell should be going off in your head that says find an equation. We should use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. All right, so let's write down what we're given. We're given that m equals -2. And we also know that we have a point -11, -12. I'm going to label those values. -11 is x sub 1, and -12 is y sub 1. Why? Because that's the only point we're given, and that's the x value and the y value. Okay, now I'm ready to use my formula. So the formula says y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, y minus y1 is -12, so I place that inside parentheses and mark it down. M is -2, so I get x minus x1, which is -11, and I plug that in. So I get y plus 12 equals -2 times x plus 11. Okay, I am not done, because now I have to write the equation in both slope-intercept form and in standard form. Okay, I'm going to go for slope-intercept form first. And just to remind you what slope-intercept form is, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so from this point, I'm going to go ahead and simplify the right side by distributing. So I get y plus 12 equals -2x minus 22. Okay, because I distribute the -2 to both values. Okay, I'm almost in slope-intercept form because I want to isolate y. I want to get y by itself. So to do that, I subtract 12 off of both ends, and I get y equals -2x minus 34. Okay, that's slope-intercept form. Now, I also, because the directions tell me, have to do standard form. Standard form, if you remember, is ax plus by equals c. So what that means is I have to have both x and y on the same side. Since I just placed this in slope-intercept form, I'm going to use that one to start with. All I have to do is move the x over to the other side, and I'm good. Now I have both x and y on the same side, and my x, the coefficient or the value in front of the x is positive, therefore I'm in standard form, and I've answered both questions. What is the equation in standard form, and what is the equation in slope-intercept form?